Henry's had 4 different tender designs throughout the railway series. The wooden railway model of Elsbridge incorrectly spells its name with a double L. I think we can all unanimously agree that Edward, Trevor and the Really Useful Party is the worst title of any episode ever. Who thought that a clunky name like that was a good idea? You can see a forefinger pushing the flatbed in Runaway Car. Angelus absolutely delivered in this scene.
Can you help me move these rubbish trucks, James? Peeped Emily. No, thank you. Wheeze, James.
Speaking of Emily's rubbish, how on earth did Spencer get trapped in the siding? And additionally, I only just realized that Brandon provides him with a posh British accent.
Freeze my firebox, snorted Spencer when he saw Whiff. That dirty little engine can't move all these garbage wagons.
Kinda contradictory when he says the American term garbage in the same sentence. Whiff's take-along model depicts him as an 044 instead of a 224. In season 15's Gordon and Ferdinand, Dowager addresses Gordon by name.
Stop, Gordon!
I don't know.
But later in season 21's Dowager Hat's busy day, she forgets his name.
Oh, excellent. Now, Geoffrey.
Geoffrey? Who's Geoffrey?
Listen, Gregory.
Well, I guess dementia is kicking. Topham showers with his top hat on. The official website once used a fan promo for Big Mickey's page. I can't fathom how anyone could think that this was official for even a second. Why were James and Henry given new whistle sounds for season 2?
And respectfully puffed away.
And why does James constantly switch between it and his regular one until season 5?
Then James whistled excitedly. So am I, James replied.
And why were there so many instances in which the characters have somebody else's whistle in season 4? Even depending on the dub, the sounds are different.
Stewart and Falcon were ready with a big welcome.
Stewart and Falcon were ready with a big welcome.
Thomas uses Percy's whistle in the opening of Thomas Tries His Best, and Stanley gains Percy's whistle from Thomas and Stepney in Gordon Takes a Shortcut.
And Percy took the bumper cars. But Thomas was the most excited of all. Gordon had to take Stanley's passengers on to Brendam Docks. At last, Stanley puffed in.
I'm sorry, but Keith Wickham's voice for the mayor sucks so hard.
Thank you, Spencer. You've huffed and puffed very hard. You're strong, fast and loud. You are a very grand engine indeed.
He sounds so white. Now compare this to the US dub.
Thank you, Spencer. You've huffed and puffed very hard. You're strong, fast, and loud. You are a very grand engine indeed.
See? Much better. Just like with Victor, David Bedella took on the role in both dubs later on, and it's a good thing he did. Due to Henrietta not having a close-up model in season 6, they used a red branch line coach and Toby had a little lamb. Henrietta would later receive her own close-up model in season 11's Toby's Triumph. What was the point of building war-scale models for Annie and Clarabelle exactly? The distance for Gordon's pony wheels changes during the model era. Henry's leading wheels are notably dirty in season 8's Wishing Tree. And speaking of, Crosby was meant to appear in it, but was unfortunately cut. According to concept art, Ulstead was going to appear in season 15's Percy the Snowman, but once more, it didn't make it into the final episode. In a perfect world, Kronk and Abby would have swapped sets, and Peel Gottred would be named Kildane. The hit era in general was obsessed with Peel Gottred branch locations, wasn't it? What is this station in Thomas Goes Fishing meant to be? And why does this pile of rubbish even exists. Donald and Douglas look fine as hell with red express coaches, not gonna lie. Despite both Henry and Emily fumbling with the Express in Season 8, they both eventually got the hang of it in Season 9's Respect for Gordon. Good for them. Brandon's voice for Freddy in Season 10 is so awesome. I really wish he kept it for later appearances.
I did it, Puff Freddy. Those young engines couldn't catch me. Fearless Freddy never says no to a race.
Cuffy's bells will be as good as a bicycle bell. I will have to go back to the wharf, he steams sadly, and tell them all I can't find the bell.
Ah, Brandon. Honestly, I can't decide which of the three is the dumbest crash of the entire show.
Farewell, me hearty! Maybe the abominable snowman has taken him.
Abominable snowman? Utter tish-tosh.
You're not the abominable snowman.
You're the abominable controller.
Oh.
Okay, this falls into the so stupid it's funny again category. Oliver's top feed is missing in this illustration from Escape. The sole survivor of the GNR-N2 class, number 1744, was fitted with a face for a Days Out with Thomas event in 1999. And funnily enough, 16 years later, we will receive an actual character based on the N2 in the form of Ryan.
My name is Ryan.
Okay, this might very well be the ugliest illustration I have ever seen. Seriously, what is this? Oliver is a 4-furrow here, and in a prior illustration, he's an 062. Additionally, he's painted in BR green instead of Great Western green. What the hell is this trash? Edward is a mogul here for some reason. The caterpillar allegations are apparently true, judging by this illustration. On a more positive note, David Palmer is a goated illustrator. Just look at how gorgeous this guy's stuff is. Would have loved to see more of him. Despite Duck having a green safety valve bonnet in the TV series, he is depicted with a brass one here. Back to Edward Cracks a Nut. While the illustrations are utterly terrible, the story's title is once again an absolute banger. Definitely Chris's best title ever. The runner-up would be Cab Over Wheels. Bertie's CRD 54 license plate from the books was carried over to his new season 23 model, which is so wholesome and a nice homage to Reginald Dolby. Illustrator John Theodore Kenny did the same thing. A car with the license plate JTK62 can be seen in an illustration of Steamroller. There is only one instance of a tanker having a face in the books. The name Anofa Quarry simply came to be by removing the first and last two letters of Granofast, which was a wharf in London. And the FQC initials were created by modifying the B to an F. Wilbur truly was a mastermind, wasn't he?
No.
The narrow gauge tracks are missing in this illustration, though to be fair, this is really useful engines, where almost every illustration looks just horrendous. Now, Clive wasn't the best illustrator, but I gotta say, his harbors are peak. Buster and Oliver have each other's names in concept art. In 2023, this tractor, who appeared in a drawing by Robert Gold Gallius, was given a name. Travis, named by Robert himself. Murphy and Oliver received their names in 2022 by the creator Clive Spong. Seeing James's chin stretch out so much is frankly uncanny. Halloween is the last one-word title of the model era, and the CGI era's only one-word title is season 23's Batucada. Why do so many merchandise lines give Scruffy an orange underframe? I don't know what it is, but title cards that aren't in caps lock look so weird. In 2014, Drayton Manor built a Mr. Snowman balloon. Why? I don't know why, but Keith's voice for Henry here is so soothing.
I think I have a very good idea. Scruff? Hello? It's Henry the Green Engine here. I wonder whether you might like to come with me to get my special coal.
Thank you, Henry. I don't think Scruff wants to see your special coal.
What a shame. Maybe another day.
Henry has his new shape in this shot from Thomas and Gordon. Don't ask me how that happened. James is really dirty in this shot from Tenders and Turntables. The Nitrogen era loved its mustache gags, didn't it? The fact that some of the boats were named after crew members is so sweet. Season 6's humour never gets old.
Well, one thing's for sure, said Gordon. He won't choose Dirty Percy.
Don't call me Dirty Percy. Move aside, Dirty Percy. Want a race, Thomas? Beat Bertie? Never mind. He's after me!
I don't think he'll be late, said Duck.
We're out of hot air! Shouted a voice. Ah! Cried James. What's happening? Crash, bang, wallop went the balloon.
Pa, I could handle those diesels with bent buffers and a busted boiler. Then you will do Percy's run to the smelter. Yes, sir, said James.
WIF is a pioneering engine due to being built in 1869. Gosh, this guy is old. Percy has broken the fourth wall numerous times.
Percy is being put upon. I am.
The last time he was held up, the mail was given to Harold. It made me feel like a really useless engine.
And then there was trouble.
Ringo is smacking his lips here.
Not long now, he thought.
Same with George here.
We'll see about that, said Sir Topham Hatt. No engine on my railway is too important for small jobs.
Clarabelle is facing forwards here. This face mask is way too tiny. You can hear Percy's boiler heating up in Season 9's oil painting, which really emphasizes just how angry Percy is at that moment.
Percy was so cross his boiler bubbled.
And he went as red as James.
Everywhere on Sodor is special. And so are the people and the children and the engines. We are all special.
Derek's name was strangely never mentioned in the show.
Come on, push harder, you silly diesel, shouted Ben. But the diesel couldn't push any harder.
Who's that straining up the hill while Gordon sleeps by Brownlee?
Keith's voice for Edward in Hero of the Rails is drastically different compared to how it sounds later on.
He'll never have manners.
Gordon claims to be fast and reliable, but he still needed my help to get over the hill.
You will each take different tracks round the island. You may only stop for coal and water. You can talk just as much as you like, Philip. Just not while I'm trying to sleep.
Knowing that someone was a fan of the franchise before getting the chance to work for it is so wholesome. According to Lee Pressman, the stupid end sequence in Who's Jeffrey was not in the original script.
That was me.
Well, I can't blame him. The amount of times that Brenner era episodes end with that stupid laughing at the end cliche is not even funny.
Shut up!
Andrew Brenner not receiving his writing credits for the TV episodes based on his stories is really scummy, honestly. But thank you, Andrew, for not being petty and working for the show later on regardless. absolute GOAT. You can just about make out Arian Bird's hazard stripes on Splatter and Dodge here, and you can also make out Splatter's purple paint here. Paxton is pulling trucks despite his coupling being detached. In a magazine story called Bill and Ben, Boko mentions his sole surviving brother, number D5705, Kobo. And interestingly enough, another one of his brothers appears in Escape, number D5701. Speaking of, I think that Bill and Ben look rather smart in red wheels, and I might actually prefer them to the black ones. I find it interesting how international characters have different gauges as opposed to their real life counterparts. Victor's basis is standard gauge, but he himself is narrow gauge. And Nia and Hero's bases are narrow gauge, but they themselves are standard gauge. Speaking of, the Morenci loop appears in Big World, albeit as a 2-track standard gauge loop. Same for the Kenya-Uganda Railway, which is standard gauge instead of meter gauge in the special to have Thomas be able to travel on it. Why did Take and Play only release Douglas in 2013 and not Donald to go along with him? How did Stephen and Thomas make it up to the castle? It always bugs me when the engines are shown wrong roading. Thomas's headlamp used to have a handle in season 1, though it disappeared in later seasons. Sir Handel and Rheneas's Tommy and Wooden Railway toys respectively have white wheels. This scene from season 23's The Other Big Engine is just a big middle finger to us fans, isn't it?
Who does he remind me of? Edward? Henry? Toby? Definitely not. Ooh, the Flying Scotsman! No.
I will never not be annoyed by Henry's rear splasher being cut off. They really should have just omitted them as they did in season 1. Additionally, his new diecast toy is flat out missing his rear splasher entirely. Speaking of, Henry's CGI render gained extra lining on his rear splasher, as well as real glazing in his windows. John Kenny's incarnation of Percy is the best one there is, change my mind. Hero is the only CGI character to receive a take-along model. Bill and Ben as well as Arian Bird were released as a 2-pack in the take-along range, though in the UK they were released individually. Take and Play bothered to remove the tender buffers that were facing towards the cab. Oliver's take-along model weirdly has silver buffers. Only the right wheel of Hero's patchwork design is colored blue. Speaking of, Hero was initially intended to be painted blue, which ended up becoming his patchwork livery. Percy's smokebox saddle flat out changes shape during tramway engines. Dude, what is it with Percy and smokebox saddles? I love the detail of the whistles budging up and down in the nitrogen era. Victor is on standard gauge tracks here. Only Annie is ever named in Double Trouble.
The Fat Controller jumped aboard Annie.
Gordon pulling only one express coach is such a weird sight. Speaking of, he's pulling 7 express coaches here in Hugo and the Airship instead of the usual 6. Apparently, both James and Thomas desire to be aeroplanes, judging by a new arrival and the other side of the mountain respectively.
I can fly! I can fly!
There's one instance in Ballast where the Scottish twins were referred to as Douglas and Donald.
Douglas and Donald disappeared regularly behind the big station along a line on which none of the others had ever gone.
I always love it when Wilbert advertises real railways in his forewords. How ironic that Sharon Miller has the honour of having the final line of dialogue in Thomas and Friends.
It is my pleasure to present to you a special crest, signifying to all that you have truly been, if you don't mind me saying, a royally useful engine.